Were you the funny guy at the fraternity? They always talk about a fraternity tinge to your comedy, or fraternity-like. I don't even know if you were in a fraternity.
I don't know what you mean by they.
Well, I mean different ones, as we say in the Midwest. The press, the scribes, the gentlemen who...
It's probably the rival fraternities.
...can make or break us.
That's true. They can make or break us.
But you weren't one of those dreadful deeks or feeks or whatever they're called. Those...
Well, a lot of we geeks don't consider it dreadful. There are ways to eat. There are ways to practice a religion. This, of course, wouldn't be one of them. Mm-hmm. Let me put it this way.
But if I was casting about searching for a fact, you were not in a fact.
No,
I wasn't either. Does that surprise you?
No, not really. It doesn't particularly interest me. I wasn't in a fraternity, but I...
Why weren't you? And then I'll tell you why I wasn't, if I can summon some interest.
I tried to get into the sororities as much as I could. That's one reason. They just didn't have them much around those days.
At Bard?
Bard College, they didn't have fraternities.
Oh, yeah.
Bard College is a very filthy college, and small and liberal and progressive, so you don't have fraternities at a place like that because people simply rip them to pieces, burn them,
really?
And then smoke them. Later, that's the kind of... No, it's a very wonderful school. It's not, I'm not putting it down.
Bard backwards is drab, isn't it?
No.
No, that's right. I don't know what got into me.
I will say this. Parcheesi. No, I will say...
We'll say that, eh?
I got the script for Animal House, which I haven't seen yet, the movie Animal House, and I would urge all of you to stay away.
Anyone we know in that?
Just the Sasquatch, as far as I know.
Is that what they call Belushi?
Who's they? The other big feet?
Well, the folks around here.
No, they don't. Yeah. We call him a kindly old patent tank, or a mindless old patent tank.
We're speaking of Jonathan Belushi, the distinguished actor and comic from Saturday Night Live, because not everybody sees that show.
That's true.
There are probably people who aren't watching this at the moment. And some of them are in the studio here.
Yeah, I was going to say, turn around, face this way if you could. Yeah,
no,
John's
I never
first
joined
job was one of these bricks, I believe.
When he... Those are quite convincing, aren't they? You know, I don't know if you know Mel Brooks or not, do you?
Yeah.
He once said, in a moment of light seriousness, that every comic found out by accident at some early point in his life that he was the funny kid, without realizing that he made his friends laugh. Certainly, I'm sure Mel did. And then learns to sort of solidify that and use it later consciously. And it's a nice theory. I don't know if do you recognize yourself in that? At 7 was young Chev breaking him up?
I wasn't as funny as Mel. He just kept the class in stitches. A lot of flatulence.
That means whipping yourself.
A lot of self-flatulence. In fact, I was basically a class clown with, of course, the authority of a very tall, good-looking fellow with good grades.
That's another way our lives are parallel.
Is my lip bleeding? I just pulled some of the dead skin. You know how you do that? You do this, and more comes than you thought. And before you know it, you're using an ointment on the show.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
I was funny in class, about this funny. And,
you probably were, weren't you? I mean,
yeah, I was a hellraiser.
When the teacher turned her back, you probably did something satirical with the paper clip. That's not a bad idea. Are you the type that maps out your future? Is there a side to you that I don't suspect that goes into an office and says, gets on the phone and says, look, I want 3 pictures sitting next year. I want this many guest shots and so, and by next so-and-so many number of years, I want to be in this position in the business. Stop me when you recognize any of this.
I'd like to just get some of that down. Is it like just 3 pictures next year?
I'd like to be that way, too, but I
have a pilot point here for the 3-picture deals. There is a side of me that you don't see or know. Mm-hmm. That's my right side. Change around, you'll be able to see that side.
I think seeing a side of you...
It's not funny to make the sound effect, okay? No, there isn't a side to me that has any aspiration, that drives toward any goal, that has in mind any place to get to. I've never cared about it. I've never stayed with a job more than a year, much to the credit of those who've hired me. And in fact, I was fired from Saturday night. A lot of people don't know that. I was fired for just being a little too funny.
Are you serious? Yeah.
No, I'm not serious. But yeah, I have to now, of course, map out my life a little better. but it's not 3 pictures this year, that kind of thing. Actually, it is.
It may
It's
be,
2 this year.
But you don't know whether it is or not, so you're not...
I have to think a year and a half, 2 years in advance now, which is a mind blower for me.
When you had to go through the decision of whether to leave the secure nest of New York, which is never all that secure,
Secure nest of
yeah.
New York. Cavett says, secure nest of New York, tonight at 9.
Indeed. I guess my goal here is
Leaving
to
the
get you to
secure
finish
nest of New York and going out to that wild, crazy Cleveland. At first, it scared the living pants off me.
Yeah. First thing you get to Cleveland, you buy a pool, right? You get a Rolls.
You rent a pool.
Can you describe your surroundings if we came up and knocked at your door? What would we see?
Mostly just the door at first, and then, of course,
And as we
might look
widen our-
around, find a doorbell, and then I'd hear you from the back in the gardens area.
Yeah.
Then one of several gardeners will come and answer the door for you.
You have the
and-
old Errol Flynn place?
No, I don't. I have his wallet. I live in an area of grandesque beauty, much like the secure nest of New York. And it's not very big. I live in kind of a bachelor pad, a little place with Ralph. And I have a pool that sort of goes out to a lip, in a sense, much like the one I just bit the skin off. And grass around it. And, of course, we grow our
I expect
our
that.
own. And I have a little land, but it's not... it's probably like your place in Montauk, which I haven't seen, but I've heard is quite pretty.
Well, you've never been invited.
Thank me. I understand after the show, though, I won't be going there.
This also is not true.